Whether you saw it in the theaters in 1989 or discovered it after the recent musical adaptation, Heathers is a very commonly known film across America. Don't believe me? Ask your parents. Chances are they've seen it. The 1989 American black comedy teen film written by Daniel Waters and directed by Michael Lehman starring your favorite Winona Ryder, Christian Slater, and Shannon Doherty amongst many others is labeled as a cult classic. The movie realistically portrays high school hatreds, manipulation, and the toxicity of abusive relationships that can easily turn a teen's internalized angst into literal violence. So whether you've seen the movie several times or only once, there's always something that people tend to pass up or pay little attention to. I'm Jamie, and I'm going to talk to you about some things that you've most likely missed in Heathers, as well as a few theories I've got on some things as simple as photographs and timing of dialogue. At number 1, we have Veronica Sawyer and Betty Finn. The main character and one of her friends' names seem to pay homage to two other sets of iconic friends, starting with their first names Veronica and Betty. These names have also been seen in the Archie comics. The comics show two friends by Veronica Lodge and Betty Cooper. Their last names, Finn and Sawyer, can be seen as Huckleberry Finn and Tom Sawyer, two friends in Mark Twain's novel The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn. Unfortunately, since nobody from the cast or crew of the film has made any direct comments on this subject, our questions will be left unanswered.
Do you know I'm still a virgin? Okay, I French kissed.
Number 2, Snappy Snack Shack foreshadowing Jason Dean's actions. Jason Dean, otherwise known as JD, is seen as Veronica's boyfriend for most of the movie, but is ultimately the antagonist of the entire film. During their second encounter at the Snappy Snack Shack, the drinks behind Jason Dean line up to read Bang Bang Bang. We don't know if the lineup was a coincidence or if it was set up to foreshadow Dean's actions later on in the film. However, it fits the scene well and makes perfect sense. At number 3, we have the color codes and a theory. If you've seen Heathers, you know that each member of the clique wears a specific color. Heather Chandler, of course, wears red as the leader, while Heather Duke is shown wearing various shades of green and yellow, and Heather McNamara is shown wearing yellow and white. Veronica also wears blue, purple, and black, respectively. In this specific scene, the two girls are at a Remington party, the same party that leads to Veronica Sawyer turning against Heather Chandler.
Lick it up, baby. Lick it up.
In this scene, Veronica is shown sitting on a couch in a room with a very bold red tint. Seems normal, right? Well, there could be more behind this. The next scene shows Heather Chandler in a bathroom that is predominantly blue. Once again, this probably seems normal to a casual viewer, but if you pay closer attention to this scene, you see the character known as Brad is trying to hook up with Veronica. Veronica, who is clearly uninterested, turns against the frat boy. You might be wondering, why is this important? If you take a closer look at Brad, he's wearing a red shirt, the color of her rival. And in the scene right before this, Heather Chandler is seen in a room with a boy named David. David is clearly the antagonist in this scene, and taking a closer look at his character, you'll find that he's also wearing a blue shirt, Heather Chandler's rival. If this isn't enough detail, look at the scenes that follow the party. In Heather's kitchen, you see a painting behind JD. The painting shows a woman in a red dress, a woman in a blue dress, and a man wearing all black kneeling down. These colors can be used to represent Heather Chandler, Veronica Sawyer, and Jason Dean. And given that Veronica is shown in a room that is tinted red, the color of her rival, and Heather Chandler is shown in a room that is blue, the color of her rival, this could be symbolic of their rivalry. This can also be seen towards the end of the movie when JD and Veronica have become rivals. The scene shows Jason Dean sitting at his desk building a bomb. The back of his room is lit with a deep blue color, which once again is only seen after the fact that Veronica has turned against JD. Number 4 is short and easy, Carnation milk. Carnation milk seems to be the only thing that people in Sherwood, Ohio drink. It is shown in every lunch scene, and it can also be found in Heather Chandler's kitchen. For number 5, we take a closer look at the iconic death scene of Heather Chandler. Heather Chandler's death scene is one of my favorite scenes given its comedic take on a serious event. However, in the real world, Heather Chandler wouldn't have been able to drink that entire cup, nor would she have died that fast. People drinking drain cleaner is actually quite common, whether it's intentional or accidentally, and most who do it regret it immediately. A lot of times, people won't die from ingesting drain cleaner, and since one of the main ingredients in drain cleaner is sulfuric acid, unless you open your throat and get a majority of it into your stomach, what will happen once it hits your throat is your reflexes will kick in, and it would be very hard at that point to force yourself to drink more. Given that she swallowed the entire cup of drain cleaner, it's likely that damage to the esophagus and stomach would continue to occur for several weeks, and it could take up to a month to ultimately kill her. But hey, who cares? This scene will always be one of my favorites, and it's loved by Heather's fans all over the world. Number 6, boxes. While this one is nothing major, the character Jason Dean states early on in the movie that he's been moved around all his life, but he never
Yeah,
states how often.
I've been moved around all my life. Dallas, Baton Rouge, Vegas, Sherwood, Ohio.
But with the next scene,
It's
it's
always
safe
been a
to assume
snappy,
that it's
snappy.
more frequent than usual. The scene shows moving boxes scattered across the living room, and while this probably isn't something you missed, you might not have put much thought into it. Since there's only some essential items such as the couch and television that have been unpacked, it's likely that they move more than they stay. This can be seen as a red flag for some. In fact, if I were
Seven
Veronica, the
schools
one
and
question
seven
that would burn me
states, and the
alive would
only
be
thing
why does he
different is
move
my
so
locker
often, and why is it
combination.
so often that it's not worth unpacking everything? We don't learn much about this topic later on in the movie, but that's one that I always think about. Number 7, the realistic depiction of society during a serious event. While the entire movie does a great job realistically
I don't
portraying
really like their
society and its negative
anxiety.
aspects, there's one scene that always seems to grab my attention. The scene shows two geeks being chased by Kurt and Ram. Eventually, Ram grabs one and holds him down. While this is true to how a lot of kids are picked on, it also shows how careless the society can be. It's shown that passersby just stand and watch, and one even points before walking away. The scene perfectly demonstrates how
Oh,
selfish people can be.
say I like to suck big dicks.
Number 8, JD's Ecology Bullets. There's no doubt that JD is a manipulative liar. He lies to Veronica in order to murder Kurt and Ram after she tries to get out of it. He asks her if she takes German, to which she replies she takes French. He then tells her that they're going to shoot the boys with Ecology bullets, claiming that they're tranquilizers that will break the skin long enough to bleed a bit but won't kill them. And he even comes up with a backstory as to how he got them.
Wait a second, wait a second. Do you take German?
French.
All right. These are Ecoluga bullets. My grandfather snared a shitload of them back in WW2. They're like tranquilizers, only they break the surface of the skin enough to cause a little
If you're
blood, but
taking
no real
German or you
damage.
took it in high school, you'd know that the word ich is I and Lüge is lie. Putting the two together would make I lie. Not only does this foreshadow future events, it totally fits the entire goal, which was to lie to Veronica so that she would help him commit more crimes. Number 9, Kurt and Ram's death was staged wrong. The beloved Kurt Kelly and Ram Sweeney, played by Lance Benton and Patrick Liberto, are an iconic duo in Heathers. They're always seen together, making it safe to assume that they're pretty good friends, and though they're made out to be the jerks of the school, these two will always be the power couple of Westerberg, whether they're together or not.
Ram and I
When it comes
died the
time for
day
their
we
death, it
realized we
seems as
could
though
never
JD and
reveal our
Veronica
forbidden
stage it
love to an
incorrectly.
uncaring,
In order for that they
ununderstanding
killed each
world.
other in a gay suicide pact set up to make sense, Kurt should have been left with the gun used to kill Ram, and Ram should have been left with the gun used to kill Kurt. Instead, Kurt is left with the gun used to kill him, and Ram is left with the gun used to kill him. To add to this topic, although Kurt and Ram were never made out to be gay in the film or the musical adaptations, the fans of Heathers will ship Cram forever.